in example 2, I love this one because it really drives home the point of the strength of a network, and how when you grow your network and you get introduced to somebody, you may be introduced to that person's network, and it grows from there. So we kind of get two things in one in this particular example. In this one, I met somebody who was super enthusiastic about my project, loved it, believed in it, thought it was great, was familiar with the property, also concurred that it was an amazing, amazing place. We shared a vision. It was terrific. He just didn't have the resources or the abilities that we needed in order to bring this project to life. But he did have a contact and said, hey, I can't help you, but I know somebody who can, and let me connect you, which he did. And the second person that I met was the right type of a person. He had experience in this. He was lots of projects under his belt, huge network. Was a great connection. So we spent a lot of time talking about the project with the second person, person B, and explained what it was. Initially had some questions, but spent several conversations developing our relationship. And probably about the third conversation, he asked for some additional resources, some financials, some more data, pictures, specifics, my ideas, so on. At that point, he started questioning, the fact that it was an island without a bridge and several other things, but still was, professing that he was interested in this project. Then our next conversation, he said, I have a potential investor that I'd like to introduce you to, but he is going to require a ton more information. And so he starts listing all the things that this person would need. And if I had really listened to him, I would have been more aware of the fact that this investor probably didn't really need all of this at this point, but this guy did. This guy wanted to cover all his bases so that he was presenting the idea and himself in the best light. Again, giving my message over to somebody else. So I had no way of getting some of this information because it's historical data and things that I wouldn't have access to. And so I had to go back to him and say, instead of it being a positive of all the things I was able to get, it became a negative that I didn't give him what he wanted. And he said, I'm not introducing you to this person because he's going to ask for a bunch more stuff. And we had a very heated conversation where ultimately he said that this idea is a bad idea and not for me to waste my time, that there are plenty of other islands and resorts that could use my help rather than this one that was too far gone. So he clearly stated that he hated the project, and we agreed to part terms. But what I found out later was that he also went back to person A, the first person who was initially so excited about this opportunity and who was a supporter, and told that person, don't get involved with this. It's too hard. It's not worth it. It's a waste of time. So he is a perfect example of a hater. He hated the project and he actively worked against me in moving this project forward. But what were my takeaways? What did I learn? So one, I should have spent more time understanding his perspective. I should have understood what his role was going to be, which was an authority on this particular property. And prior to us talking, he had never seen it, heard of it, didn't know anything about it. So clearly the learning curve was going to be big. I should have been more thoughtful about that. I should have also been paying attention to how big the ask was, because at that point, I should have really weighed whether it was worth it. in this 1 in a million chance that he was actually going to introduce me to his network contact, was it worth it, all that he was asking me to do? So I did not read that situation well, and it caused me to have this interaction with a hater. So what did I learn from that? A lot. I mean, listen when people are talking. That's probably a really the biggest takeaway of all, is that don't get so excited about your project. Listen to what's actually happening and make good choices about whether this person is really on your team.